It's crazy. I wish I could be there. The atmosphere there must be so ridiculous right now. Anyway, so Jaedong going for a rush strategy. Very, very, very fast mutas here in game 1. And not quite pulling it off. Flash doing a bit of a kind of a timing attack actually, while Jaedong was just starting to mass Hydras. He spent that time getting 2 bases instead of 1 extra while he was harassing, and invested a bunch in drones. And so when Flash moved out, Jaedong just didn't have anything. And Jaedong missed a little bit of opportunity to put pressure on Flash early as well. Flash went for the fast command center and then went for his barracks after command center. It looks like he might do the same thing here actually. Yes he is, because he's just rallied his SCVs to the position of his natural expansion, although I think he just dragged it back onto the minerals regardless. Never mind. Anyway, so it didn't pay off. Jaedong was not able to put pressure on Flash when he really could have. Flash will need a couple Marines, just like we saw against Light. Why didn't you just do it like against Light? Go with some mass Lings or something like that. Could have worked, although less likely to work against Flash. Anyway, so Flash is going to do the same thing here again, and there's a Jaedong fan preemptively covering his face in case he gets on camera. He doesn't need to hide. Wow. Anyway, so Jaedong going for a 12 hatch build here again. I'm curious to see what he's going to do. There we go. 3rd hatchery before pool from Jaedong. He knows what's up. He knows what Flash does. This is it. Oh my, this is making me flash back to the MSL finals, no pun intended, flashback to last year where he knew that Flash was going to do this, or at least go 1 rack CC every time, and he went 3 hatch before pool to counter it, because 3 hatch before pool is basically like, the fast nexus or the fast CC. It's the same sort of thing where you're getting a lot of econ very fast, and you're delaying your units. So look at this, Jaedong blindly getting the 3rd hatchery before anything, which is a little bit risky against Flash sometimes, but Flash has been not much of a rusher lately these days. Anyway, point being, this is going to be a macro game. It was what it looks like. It may just be an early mid-game macro game, but it's going to be a fast. It's going to get into mid-game quick, basically, where both players are going to have a lot of econ going on, and Jaedong is just droning up right now. He's now going to spawning pull up, so he's starting to build Zerglings, but he's going to have massive amounts of larvae to deal with, and that's going to be pretty sweet. For Jaedong here. Anyway, so I'm curious to see what Jaedong does do with this. He's going to try and clear out those Zerglings. I'm sorry, try and use the Zerglings to clear out the SCV. And then he's going to pick something. Probably just going to go for 3 hatch muta is what I'm expecting here. And it's going to be, he's probably going to be able to get a lot of stuff in the bank here. Some Zerglings coming out here. I'm not sure if they've killed off the SCV or not. Flash now he's going for the factory again. This is, wow. And he's just got the barracks and, 1 Marine behind it, which he's going to try and move. I think he's going to try and move that Marine over to try and kill an Overlord or something like that. Don't see where the Marine went. But anyways, he's producing another one. Jaedong's going to spot that door, and I wonder if he's going to decide to... Yeah, there's that Marine. Okay, maybe he didn't have a Marine before. Maybe I'm just tripping. Anyway, Jaedong might send that Overlord in there to try and see what's going on. Try and see what Flash is doing. A 3rd factory! Whoa! 3 factories! And Jaedong does appear, and that's where that Marine went. It went over to the side to make sure Jaedong couldn't do exactly what he's doing. Oh my god, I'm like jumping up and down. I think Jaedong sees that Vulture, though. I think he saw that Vulture, but he's not going to be able to run that Overlord in the top to scout what's going on. Spire is down. Get a Sunken Colony. You need a Sunken Colony like stat, buddy. There's the Overlord. Is going to get attacked now by this Marine. 3 factories. 2. No, a 4th factory. That's not a machine shop. That's a 4th factory. What is... Flash is insane. He's going in here. He's going to try and micro against these Zerglings. They just need to stall long enough to get that Sunken Colony up, and then he should be okay. Where is this... Where is the Sunken Colony? There's a Hydralisk. That's okay too. That's fine. Flash is going to scout that Spire though. He knows the Spire's there. I didn't see the Hydralisk then, my bad. Anyway, so he might suspect Flash is going back at this point. Well, I mean, he obviously can suspect that. But one vulture doesn't necessarily mean mech. Sometimes, well, in other, sometimes it can also mean that you're just going for like a fast science vessel build or something like that, or some kind of fantasy-esque Valkyrie something or other. Fantasy was very well known for, well, not very well known, but Fantasy would often go for a vulture and then into higher tech units. And look at this, Flash has stopped all SCV production. He's got 4 factories. This is basically kind of an all-in massive mass Goliath rush. He's just going to make a crap ton of Goliaths very, very quickly, and that will be that. And Jaedong is going to have to deal with it. He's producing Mutalisks right now. He's producing Mutalisks right now. I believe he's got a few Hydralisks running around the map, but he's got that Spires just popped. He had a larva on those 2 extra hatcheries. So he's gonna be able to produce a lot of Mutalisks, I think, but I'm not sure if he's just gonna go for Hydras instead, because I think he sees. I don't know if he saw. He must have seen those Goliaths, right? Yeah, he's got an Overlord in the vicinity, so he must have seen the Goliaths or something. Maybe he doesn't have the Overlord in the vicinity, actually. On the minimap, that might be just Hydralisks down there. Anyway, this is... And what... wait, is... never mind. Okay, so Flash is going to see this. Flash, you need to land that Rex. Well, maybe not, actually. He doesn't need to land the Rex for only a few Hydras. For some reason, I was expecting there to be more. And there's the massive Hydralisk coming up the middle of the map. Both players going for kind of a massive, just massive rush thing here. Jaedong, Flash doesn't even have an engineering bay. He's just counting on mass Goliaths to hold things off here. Jaedong coming in with a bunch of Hydralisks, picks off a supply depot, and here it comes. Jaedong has taken another base, and this might be another timing attack by Flash, though. But Jaedong does have a lot of Hydralisks on the ground. He's going to be able to macro up even more as he backs off there. You get diminishing returns with the length you have to travel, because the enemy can reinforce faster, and that's exactly what Jaedong is like. Oh crap, that is a lot of Goliaths. I need to make more Hydralisks, but instead he's making more bases. This is crazy. Both these players are insane. Okay, there's some Hydralisks as well, but anyway, so Jaedong is just trying to mass up enough Hydralisks to hold off this Goliath attack. He knows that if he can hold off this attack, he's going to be in good shape. Putting a couple Sun Colonies at extra base. Where are the Goliaths going, though? He's not sure where those Goliaths are. And here they come into that base. Jaedong's going to try and flank now. He's going to try and bring around the Hydralisks from behind. He's also going to bring in the Hydralisks from the front, and from 2 different directions he's going to attack this group of Goliaths. He might lose the base first, though, but that group of Goliaths is going to be trapped. They're going to be trapped. They won't have anywhere to fall back to if Jaedong pulls this off correctly, but is he going to be able to? He's sending only a few Hydralisks in from one side, more from the other side. Goliaths having to fall back and recenter there. Jaedong's attack is just too little and too spread out and too late. Oh my gosh, the Flash holds that off, and he's going to kill some Overlords just to boot, and he's going to be able to take out that base. Jaedong has another base at the left sort of bottom middle of the map there. But, oh my gosh, Jaedong needs to mass up a bunch of Hydras right now, and more forces are coming in here. Siege Tank is in play, and he can't even switch to Mutas at this point, because the Mutas will get totally owned by these Goliaths. This is crazy. Flash now back to building SCVs. He built that initial push, and now he's back to building SCVs in case Jaedong just does hold this off. He wants to be able to go in the long game with some sort of econ. But Flash is now barreling down onto Jaedong's expansion here, getting very, very close. Jaedong forced to engage with a paltry force of Hydralisks, and they are going down very, very quickly. They are killing off a couple Goliaths here and there, but the tank is now in play. If he gets siege mode, GG from Jaedong! Oh my gosh, with nothing left. And look at that, Flash again acting like nothing happened. You know, he's like, oh, I'm just gonna, you know, eat a sandwich and check my email and defeat the best Zerg player ever to play StarCraft twice in a row, and then I'm gonna get my nails done, and then put some band-aids back on my arm. This is ridiculous. Flash is now up 2 games to 0. Oh my gosh. Now, Flash in his semifinal was up 2 games to 0 and then lost the following 2. So anything could still happen at this point. Wow. Anything could still happen. And Jaedong, just looking at the end of that, just like, what the heck just happened? Just looking kind of, you know, mortified. But also still focused. That's the thing about these players. And that's why, you know, Jaedong and Flash each won Game 5. Despite being, or in Jaedong's case, I guess Game 4, despite being, you know, having 2 games against them is because these guys do not crack under pressure. They do not do it. They have had so much exposure, so much experience at the top levels in finals. Oh my gosh, if you could count the finals these two have been in together, it would be ridiculous. I don't think you could do it on just your hands. You'd have to take off your shoes and use your toes. If you happen to be wearing shoes while you're watching StarCraft, which I'm not actually, but I'd have to take off my socks. Anyway, we're gonna get into Game 3 right here. 2 titans, absolute titans of the craft of StarCraft, I guess. 2 absolute video game legends duking it out here, hardcore style, and wow, this is going to be insane. This is already insane. Flash talking to himself now, maybe hyping himself up, maybe saying, you know, okay, Flash, come on, just one more game, you can do this, you can do this. There's Jaedong, looking very focused. He doesn't look quite as pissed as he often does before his games, but he still does look focused. I think he's still going to be able to give it his all. And Flash has won the last 2 games of kind of tactical timing attacks. I wonder if Jaedong might be a little less greedy next time. The last 2 games, Flash went for a quick second base, very, very quick second base. I mean, that's the second building he built. He was still Supply Depot Command Center, and then just went for some kind of a crazy mass rush. I won't say all in, but a very fast timing attack with 2 bases worth of units, just pumping stuff out of multiple buildings. And Jaedong, while he was kind of dealing with the early harassment, just went for 2 extra bases, and Flash just caught him off guard in a beautiful timing attack both times with just massive amounts of units, and Jaedong was in the middle of getting his econ up and just didn't have the opportunity. Kind of reminds me of Bisu when he beat Savior, you know. What is going on here? Flash is playing something different. He's doing a different strategy for once. Probably expecting Jaedong to be on top of it this time. Jaedong is pretty good at adapting things. I mean, we saw he noticed Flash was doing fast command centers, and so he went for his 3 hatch before command center. Also, you know, yeah, this does remind me a lot of, you know, Bisu when he beat Savior. He had a perfect build set up to get a quick expansion and then get stuff out right as Savior was trying to, you know, build his forces up and just own him. And that was Ser DT, obviously, was kind of a focus of that strategy that worked very well. But anyway, point being, I don't know what my point was anymore. Oh, just the kind of the dynamic, the back and forth kind of reminded me of that for some reason. With the massive build-up and the timing attack aspect of it, basically. So with Flash, you know, attacking just when Jaedong was starting to get his stuff going, just when his macro was starting to get going, and just, you know, overran his early forces. And if he'd attacked a couple minutes later, Jaedong would have had a ton of extra stuff, and it would have been over the other way instead. Anyway, so here in this game, Flash playing a little bit closer to his chest, getting the racks first, then the command center, just in case Jaedong's going for some kind of a rush. He can scout it and not die, which is very, very prudent, because if you think about it, that's how Effort beat Flash in the last OSL, was by adapting and saying, all right, you know what, you're gonna play this safe game and just go for these long games. I'm gonna put pressure on. And he played super aggressive.